Okay, having a look at a writing here that was in response to the try this activity writing prompt. Experiences when playing Roblox. Alright, not sure why there's a colon there in the title. Colon is normally used to make a list, to show that a list is coming up. And I guess this does start with a list, but you wouldn't link your title directly to the text. Right, gaming, chatting with friends, feeling the humour. That's definitely Roblox. Alright, it's a nice engaging start. Roblox is a multiplayer game platform with millions of games. So maybe we can be a little bit more precise and say including millions of games. That will inspire you. Nice word, inspire. You can get actual friends playing with. Alright, so you probably say you can make actual friends. With is not a word, obviously, so you need to edit that out. Playing with, you can get actual friends playing with, and that's not a complete sentence. Alright, you need to say you can get actual friends playing Roblox and chat with them. Or make your own games, play games that is enjoyable. Yeah, okay, this is subject verb agreement. Games is plural. This needs to be are. Alright, play games that are enjoyable. So yeah, that's a very common error. Alright, a game is enjoyable, games are enjoyable. But, alright, it's grammatically not correct to use but to start a sentence. I probably wouldn't even use but at all there. I'd just go straight into on the other hand, and you need a comma there. People just think it is dumb. Alright, so dumb's not a great word to use when you say people think this game is a waste of time. And you could even strengthen your perspective. You could say people incorrectly think or erroneously think. Well, that is not true. Okay, yeah, well, you've added it, so you could almost do away with that sentence if you just said erroneously in there. Roblox is not always fun because scammers and hackers can do something in your account. Right, so at this point, the author's trying to give the other side to use counter argument and rebuttal, but this point's a little bit too strong, I think. I mean, it seems like you're trying to support, to advocate for Roblox, and then you've got this really powerful point in there that's against it. So I'd probably consider not even having that in there, and certainly not stating it as strongly as that. So just verify your parents' email to be safe. Alright, so parents needs an apostrophe for possession as well. And again, it just, this whole bit seems a little bit, it's so precise. I mean, someone who doesn't play the game won't know what they even mean there. Alright, so yeah, I would consider leaving that last part out entirely. Okay, to begin with, oops, gone to the longest part. Roblox is a multiplayer game platform with millions of games that will amaze you. Good word. Yeah, it decided to change. We had inspire before amaze. Scary games, humorous. Uh, Probably want to still include games rather than just the adjective. All right, you go scary, humorous, imaginative, spectacular, and there are all types of games. All right, so again the imprecise use of the verb but, so we're using but again. However, it does not have to be fun. So the phrasing here is not very good. You want to be more specific and say it doesn't only have to be fun. It could even be educational. All right, so playing the game could even be educational. And a better word to use there would be didactic, which means you learn from it. So you would say your gaming experience can also be a didactic one. Research proves, alright, it's probably not going to convince anyone when you say research proves. It's probably better to say research shows that Roblox is an inspiring platform that has games, even educational. Yeah, this sentence doesn't make sense. You would definitely need to have a comma in there that has games, even educational. And you're just really restating what you've already said, so it's a little bit repetitive. To conclude this, Roblox is an amazing platform. Yeah, I don't think you want to say to conclude this yet because it's not the end of the writing. Alright, so that was the first reason. Yeah, it just needs to be tidied up a bit, I think. Focus on the fun and educational value. Right, next page is typed, which I think is interesting because with the changes to the test in the future, with it going to an online, the selective test and the OC test going to an online platform, they're probably very useful to get your children starting to type and getting used to typing as well as writing. Right. Furthermore, good start, good connective. If you very desolate, yeah, that sentence doesn't make sense. All right. So if you are feeling very desolate, desolate's a great word to use there. Roblox can, yeah, Roblox can what? So the whole sentence is incomplete, and you would need a comma there as well. Roblox can alleviate your loneliness, right? So you're not using the same word as desolate. You can get real people playing with, again, the sentence doesn't make sense, all right? You can find real people to play with, or you can play with real people, real players. So you will get new friends. Yeah, let's use a better word than get. Acquire. Right, being lonely is not fun. But, so yeah, so many sentences starting with but. However, you still need to be careful for scammers and hackers. So you still need to be aware of scammers and hackers. Research shows, yeah, so the correct verb to go with research here. Instead of proves is a little bit too strong. Research shows, no need for a comma there. That being lonely can cause emotions. Alright, emotions is too neutral because emotions can be happiness as well. So you have to add an adjective like negative, can cause negative emotions. Or just be more specific, it can cause anxiety and depression, crying and sickness. Alright, and probably strengthen that because you've already said emotions. That's a sort of mental illness. You can say physical sickness, physical symptoms of sickness. So that's why Roblox is the platform you need. Okay, yeah, well, I don't understand why you're putting that in there. You've just said research shows this. You need to be more specific. You need to say Roblox alleviates this or remedies these problems by providing you with entertainment and fun and friendship. So be careful that the end of the paragraph actually includes, that you're relating to information you've actually included. You might have inferred that earlier on in your introduction, but it's not in this argument. Alright, now to conclude with Roblox, so remember you need a capital R for Roblox, it's a proper noun, is a very fun game to enjoy. 1 point to present, so you shouldn't be including something as if it's a new point in your conclusion, right? You're signposting that this is your conclusion to conclude with. So if you've already talked about this, which I think you have, you wouldn't say 1 point, you say the important point to present is that Roblox, again, has millions of games to play. Even some educational, so it should be some even educational. Why not even strengthen that to mostly educational, right? A smart person realizes that anything you do can be educational, right? So you highlight, even though all games are educational on some level, Roblox goes above and beyond, right? It's even more didactic, as I said before. On the other hand, all right, that's phrased nicely, but another point is when you do a persuasive writing, I don't think it's a good idea to actually do a discussion, right, where you're giving both sides, because, yeah, you can see, even though this article is meant to be supporting Roblox, the points against it are so strong that it becomes quite confusing. So on the other hand, people think, so you would have to say many people if you want to support it, or some people if you want to say it's not that strong of you, think that Roblox is not right for children just because it's too strong, just because it is harmful, right? I think I get what you're saying, that people think it's harmful, but the way you phrased it is that, well, they don't think it's right just because it's harmful. So you could be talking about anything. You could say, people think poison is not right just because it's harmful. Yeah, but it tastes nice, right? So be very careful with the phrasing of that. You've got to be very specific. In my opinion, now I'll just touch on this point. I think at primary school level, it's not so bad to say in my opinion, but I'm teaching children to be objective when I teach them how to write. So one thing I teach them is that no one really cares what your opinion is unless it's a very personal task. Okay, so your opinion, meaningless. The better thing to do is to go with research, to go with evidence. So if you say, instead of in my opinion, you say the evidence suggests that it is okay for children, all right? Rather than saying I think, yeah, because it's again, and that should be an uppercase I. Why is anyone going to care what you think? Are you an authority on this? And okay, too colloquial, all right? So the evidence suggests it is perfectly acceptable for children, use formal language again, to play Roblox, because sometimes they need to play around, all right? So sometimes they need to find leisure, all right, or find recreation. So yeah, the main problem with this piece is, I think, the phrasing, too informal at times, the grammar and syntax doesn't always make sense, and the reasoning isn't always clear. So I would suggest just sticking to one side in a writing like this, just one side, and only present the other side very briefly. Right, so some people think Roblox is a waste of time. However, research shows that children learn through playing, all right? That children can acquire new knowledge through recreational activities. That would be how you actually say that Roblox is harmful. Within your peers, some people think it's bad just because it's harmful. It's way too strong to successfully rebut.